Hi Capricorns, this is Michelle, your practical priestess here at Divinely Genuine. So we're here to do your tarot reading for the full moon in Scorpio. So yeah, let's get on into it. Just commune with Spirit. Spirit, I thank you for allowing me to be a clear channel to serve you in this way. I ask that you would protect my energy from interfering with the reading, that your message be clear and concise from you through me to the audience of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant or Ascendant. This is for the full moon in Scorpio tomorrow, August 29th. I keep saying that. April 29th, 2018. And we thank you, Spirit, and I ask that you would protect the energy of the reading from attaching itself to me. Let's see. And we thank you for all the advice, insight, and guidance you give us through the cards. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and or Ascendant. Full moon in Scorpio. Thank you, Spirit. So if you guys are here because you are a Capricorn sun sign, that's awesome and welcome. I wanted to let you know, if you're unaware, that you can Google your natal birth chart to get your moon sign and your ascendant sign, as those three components make up the majority of your psychology and characteristics as an earthling. So yeah, you just Googled natal birth chart, and you need your date of birth, place of birth, and birth time. So do what you can now to figure those things out, the birth time especially if you do not know it. I mean, not especially, it's just you need that as well. And after you try, if you cannot find out the exact time, narrow it down as much as possible. Ask, research, do all the things if it's a challenge. Alright. Again, Spirit, I ask that you would help me provide a clear message from you to the audience. Help me to be a clear channel. Protect my energy from interfering with the reading. And do not allow the energy of the reading to attach itself to me. This is for Capricorns, Sun, Moon, or Rising, also Ascendant, during this full moon in Scorpio, Sunday, April 29th, 2018. I thank you, Spirit, for your advice, insight, and guidance. Thank you for the ability to call on you at any moment for help, for peace, for love, for advice. Thank you that you always have our highest good in mind. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant. Alright, you guys, let's do this. Alright, so we've got the Nine of Cups reversed. The Nine of Cups, let's see. So 9 represents the 9th house in astrology, which would be Sagittarius. It is also the only house ruled by Jupiter. is our planet of expansion, good luck, fortune, growth. A 9 in numerology represents completion. And cups represent, I turned right to it. Cups represent emotions or water signs. Water signs could be someone that's in your life. It could be a water sign in your own chart, as we all have each of the 12 zodiacs somewhere in our natal chart. So the 9 of Cups is the blessings of satisfaction. It's satisfaction, having all the best that life can offer, being content, emotional satiety, wishes fulfilled, sharing good fortune with others, laughter and merriment, indulgence, counting your blessings, being surrounded by friends, good luck. Awesome. What a beautiful card to start with, Capricorn. So you guys are feeling good, you're feeling lucky, you're feeling blessed, you're completely satisfied, you're happy. And then we have, supporting this card is the Vampire card, in which this is making you aware of someone or something that's draining your life force. The shadow sides are depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. Okay, so let's remember, as you're in this good state, to be aware of anyone that or anything that's draining your life force and make the changes you need to during this full moon. And then we have the Devil card. Okay. Let's see, this card, I believe, is restrictions. Let's see. Being bound to things. It's a major arcana card. Okay, so it's the chains that bind, okay? Excess, it's temptation, lust and desire, contracts and bonds between people. It can be inner demons, decadence, vice, being a slave to something, addiction, the darkest parts of the self, ambition that hurts others, glorifying the ego, lust for life. Okay, so during this full moon in Scorpio, the full moon is causing the intensity of our emotions to come out. Okay, that's what full moons do. We have just more momentum. And being that it's in the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio represents rebirth, transformation. It also represents sex, death, and the depth of the deepest we can go spiritually as humans, right? The deepest we can go in, the deepest we can go within ourselves, you know, within, they just go deeper than any other sign. And so what I'm getting at with that is, it's no surprise that the darkest parts of yourself might come up right now with the full moon in Scorpio, being that the intensity of the moon may be causing you to dig very deep. Scorpio is not afraid of the darkness. It's not afraid to dig deep and go into the parts that no one wants to look at, because it is transformation and rebirth. And you have to remember, without the dark, there is no light. You know, it would just be. It wouldn't be classified as light. It would just be. It's the dark that makes us aware of the light, and the light that makes us aware of the darkness, okay? The yin and yang. They work together, even though they're opposites, right? We understand joy and bliss because we've also experienced pain, okay? It's also lust and desire, which again is no surprise, being that there's intensity from the full moon, and it's in the constellation that represents sex. Okay? Now, if you guys are feeling like something, as you have this vampire card here, and you're becoming aware of things that pull your energy from you, and if you are feeling like you're bound to something that is no longer serving you, do what you need to let it go. If it's something that's, you know, a relationship, a job, whatever it is, if you're feeling like you are a slave to something that's not making you happy, that's not exactly the way that you're supposed to be living. So you can plan accordingly. You guys are good at that sort of thing. Capricorns, you're very good at planning and being responsible. So yeah, don't be a slave to something that's draining your life force. And then supporting this card, we have the storyteller, reverse, so that's going to be inward. The light attributes of the storyteller: ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Okay, so maybe your artsy side is coming out, and you're, you know, maybe doing some writing, Capricorns, maybe writing some music, writing stories, writing poetry, doing some art, using symbols to express life's experiences. The shadow side of this card is making up tales that harm others. So obviously we don't want to make up anything that's going to harm someone else. Okay? And maybe, you know, these stories or this depiction of expressing life through symbols is, you know, maybe it's stories or writings that support everything I just said about the Devil card. You know, maybe it's stories about lust. Maybe it's stories about anything, you know, your inner demons. Maybe you're inspired to write poetry about the dark times you've been through, or being a slave to something, you know, in our world that you don't agree with. Okay? Woo! And then we've got here the Ace of Cups. So maybe after this rebirth, you're feeling a little joyous. You're feeling very joyous here with the Nine of Cups, becoming aware of what's draining you. Maybe you have realized that which is draining you is no longer serving you, and you're ready to end that contract. You're ready to break free from being a slave to that as you have the ability to experience and express your life through stories and symbols, which will help you to break free from that. So maybe some art, like I mentioned, some writing. And as you do break free from that, you have here the Ace of Swords, which will be returning you back to, let's see, it's the Thrust and Lust. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's the Ace of Wands. Let's see, I want the sword. It's the breath of life, okay? So after, you know, you're happy, you're good, you're growing, life's beautiful here with the Nine of Cups, then you realize something that keeps pulling you down and you break away from it. Things are not meant to be forever. Nothing is really. Not even our own lives. And we always want to force, you know, things to stay with us forever. And I'm not just talking relationships, you know. So whatever it is that you feel like Spirit is saying that, you know, hey, this is draining you, you know. Even if it's a part of yourself and not something outside of yourself, it's time to break away from that. And maybe, you know, what you need to do is write about that in some kind of way. Express it so that you can be inspired to do better for yourself and return to that state of Nine of Cups. And as you do, you flow into the Ace of Swords, which is the breath of life. Truth at the highest cause, philosophy, pure thought and conception, ideas, abstract thinking, critique from all sides, clear-cut answers, illuminating the answers through logic, justice and oaths being sworn and kept, the power of words, initial ideas, intellectual inspiration. Beautiful. Beautiful. Intellectual inspiration. Maybe that has to do with y'all's writings here in the Storyteller. illuminating the answers through logic. So beautiful. And then we have here the prostitute reversed. It's going to be inward. And that again is no surprise as we're in a full moon for Scorpio. In Scorpio. And this insinuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit, okay? So maybe a part of this that you're needing to break free from that's draining your life force. And now it's causing you to worry a bit about the challenges of surviving. But what Spirit's saying is don't negotiate the power of Spirit. Don't negotiate the joy, the gift of telling your story, and the breath of life that you've been given for the need to survive. It's not worth it, okay? The shadow attribute is places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. Just like I mentioned a while ago that things are not meant to last forever. Nothing is. Our lives do not. We go on, we pass on to different things. We transform. Jobs and relationships are not meant to either. I'm just going to say those two things as they're the major things in our lives as humans, right? It's saying the shadow side is places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. To live easier, yet neglect your spirit by being in a relationship that doesn't have love maybe, and it's only about surviving, is bound to end. It's bound to fail at some point. And in my opinion, you're denying yourself. You're giving your power away to that person when you have the power to survive on your own, especially on a spiritual path. In the way of a job that you feel bound to, a slave to, the same thing goes. It's not worth giving your power to that company to build someone else's dream when you are divinely genuine and have your own spark and your own dream to feed. So take back that power, okay? Don't fear survival. Spirit has you, okay? So to reiterate, Capricorns, you guys are feeling full contentment, satisfaction, and joy, and are becoming aware of what drains your life force. You are looking at contracts with people, at being a slave, being bound to things that aren't serving you. And it's time to tell your story, to express that in life. And then you get relief. A breath of life comes in. And you're being reminded to take your power back, that you will survive way above and beyond what you've ever imagined. Just remain in your personal power. Beautiful reading, Capricorns. I love you guys. Happy full moon. Don't forget to howl at the moon. Thanks for y'all's support. Have a great full moon. Peace.